My 25 meters girlfriend, 25F, broke up. She keeps thinking we might get back together, and changes her mind about being friends. How do I set it clear, in a nice way, that we're not getting back together? We've been doing long distance for a long time because of COVID. I got to the point where it became too much, so I broke up with her. We agreed we wouldn't vanish, and we'd stay in touch. We both seemed shocked, upset, but it seemed like fairly okay breakup, as much as possible. A week later, we hadn't spoken at all. She FaceTimes me and wants to know if I ever loved her, if we could maybe try to fix things and try again, if we could be friends. She said she hasn't slept and doesn't eat and just cries to sleep, and she adds that she's going on a date this week. I say I'd be happy to be friends, I would be. She thinks we can try that. We agreed to talk next week. The next day she calls and says we can't try being friends because it'd just be like dating long distance. So if we wanted to be friends we might as well date. What am I supposed to do and make it all this? How do I make it clear that I'm not open to us being partners again, without being mean? Too long didn't read. Now ex-girlfriend keeps changing her mind about us being friends and seems to think we can get back together. How do I nicely say no? No to all of this is a complete sentence. Say it in words just like you said here. I don't want to be mean, but it's not going to be an intimate relationship again. Just tell the truth so she can cauterize the wound and let the healing begin. She will look forward, instead of longing for what is behind. It's the kindest thing to do and it sounds like you are a kind person, so she will have that it ended in a gentle way. It's considerate of you to worry about her feelings, but honestly that ship sailed. I'm not saying being a deliberate jerk, but rip the band-aid off. Be straightforward but avoid unnecessary rudeness. Tell her unfortunately the feelings aren't reciprocated and a couching statement such as I wish they were is optional. Then let her go. You cannot be friends when she still harbors affection/love for you. You need to stop all contact with each other. You aren't going to be able to remain friends and you know it. Trying to soften the pain of a breakup by remaining friends never works. Accept that it hurts on both sides and then move on. Until you do, it's just going to be a wound that keeps getting pulled back open at unexpected times. You can still salvage an amicable breakup, but if you keep the friends charade up, when it finally ends it's going to be messy and leave hurt feelings that could have been avoided. You can't be friends at the moment because she wants to reconcile. Stop contact so she can move on and heal. It will be better in the long run. I, non-binary 18, don't want a relationship with my stepmother, 58F, but my father, 60M, says that if I want a relationship with him I also have to have one with my stepmother. I'm not sure if this is the right place to post this. If it isn't, please let me know. My father and I have always had a difficult relationship. He and my mother divorced when I was 2 and he was barely around until I was 6. When I was 6 he started to bring his girlfriend along whenever he saw me and my sister. She is 2 years older than me. Shortly after it became apparent that his girlfriend favored my sister over me, and she made no secret to hide it from me. Negative comments about my appearance, my interests and my childish behavior in comparison to my sister. This severely damaged my feeling of self-worth. My father did not make these comments, but he was always insisting I be more mature. When I was 9 they moved to America, so contact was just through FaceTime. While my sister was able to handle this well, I was not. I was not mentally prepared to communicate with them like that, and as a result I talked with them far less than my sister. They insisted that I be the one to initiate contact when we talked, and I was not ready for that either. During the next few years my sister and I grew to have very different personalities. She was more conservative, go with the flow and amenable. In contrast, I questioned everything, was not opposed to making my opinion on any matter clear, without being rude, and did not let myself be controlled or manipulated by anyone. When we saw them in person again, I was 14, my sister 16, it was clear neither of them liked how different I was since they had last seen me. My now stepmother told me straight up that I was too rebellious, too immature compared to my sister and went back to making comments about my appearance etc. I want to quickly say that my sister has never compared me to herself and has always encouraged me to be myself. In the next 2 years my contact with them became less and less, due to me not wanting to talk to my stepmother, until it stopped altogether when I was 16. Since then the only direct contact I have had with them has been an email on my birthday. Father emailed me, I emailed back. I never got a reply. The only other contact was when my father offered, he emailed my mother, to pay for a computer for me to help me with my schoolwork, which my mother and I accepted, and I sent him an email saying thank you. Again I received no reply. Recently my father reached out to me asking to get back in touch. I replied that I would like to try and build a relationship with him slowly, and that I would prefer to get to know him first before involving his wife. He said they came together as a package and that either I could accept both of them or neither of them. I don't really want to have any kind of relationship with his wife due to what she has said previously and never apologized for. He said I was selfish for only wanting to know him and that I should take his wife's feelings into account. I now feel conflicted over whether my feelings towards his wife are valid and am confused on if I was being rude in asking to get to know only him at first. Should I do what he wants me to and get to know both of them at the same time? Too long didn't read. My stepmother constantly made snide comments to me growing up which eventually resulted in me losing contact with both her and my father. My father now wants to get back in touch with me but will only do so if I also have a relationship with his wife, which I don't want to do. Your stepmother is toxic and emotionally abusive and your father is an enabler. Since they aren't in any meaningful way part of your life now, I wouldn't cede any boundaries to bring them into it. You can tell your father that his wife can be part of the package, but there are subjects that you are unwilling to discuss with either. These subjects include your appearance, your gender, your maturity, politics and any other topic that you think might lead to his wife belittling you. That's as much of a compromise as you are willing to give. If your father, or his wife, can't abide by your specifically stated boundaries, then they don't need to be in your life. Should I do what he wants me to and get to know both of them at the same time? No. Your father is a stupid asshole who doesn't understand the weakness of his own position. He wants something from you and yet somehow thinks that he has the power to make demands of you. He's a ridiculous example of a choosing beggar. What he has made clear to you is that he still doesn't care about your feelings after all this time. Really think about this. He ignored his wife's bad treatment of you, then abandoned you and now somehow thinks he can negotiate the terms of your forgiveness of him. Your life will be much richer without him in it. Honestly, you sound like you've grown into an awesome person despite his absence and her abuse. You 100% do not need them. You are also not in the least bit selfish for not wanting to subject yourself to someone who treats you badly. And your father does actually know that. His accusation is him projecting. I would shrug your shoulders and let him toddle off on his lonesome. My dream response would be something like actually, I wouldn't subject myself to stepmother's name $s abuse even to maintain a relationship with a good father, never mind with you who has missed out on years of my life and prioritizes your wife's desire to insult me over rebuilding our relationship. Don't bother contacting me again. I won't miss you. But that is just me and I become a big ball of spite in these situations. You should do what feels right for you. It basically boils down to this. He wants you to take his wife's feelings into account, but sees no reason for the wife to take your feelings into account. He reached out to you. If he wants a response, you should only do it in terms you are comfortable with. Am I understanding it correctly that your dad moved to another country when you were 9 and didn't see you again until you were 14? That your dad then just did a slow fade out of your life? You stepmom sounds mean, but her aside, I don't think you have any obligation to acquiesce to your dad's wishes. He effectively abandoned you as a child, a reflection on him, not you and your sis, and you deserve better. Forgive him and build a relationship if you want to, but on your terms. In love with my FWB? I don't think so. I, 21F, got close to a friend, 22M, who lives in my building during this lockdown, and we ended up becoming friends with benefits. We've been screwing around for a few months now. Both of us didn't want a relationship initially because he was trying to get over an ex, I was just not looking for one. He's still trying to get over her. And I did think I wanted him as a boyfriend, but actually, I don't. I'm terribly jealous of his ex. Not because I want him as a boyfriend. You wanna know why? Because I've never ever had a boyfriend love me as much as he loved her. She was his world, and I can see that in his eyes whenever he talks about her. Whenever he mentions her name, it's like so pure for him. I'm not sure I can explain. You'd think I want him, but I really don't think I do. I just want someone to love me like him, I guess. Should I break it off with him? Too long didn't read. FWB with a guy. I don't think I like him, just jealous of his ex because nobody has ever loved me that way. This guy has given you a gift. Before sleeping with him you didn't have a picture of the depths of romantic love you could aspire to. Now you do. But you both know you won't find it with him, and it seems like it'll cause you more pain than good to keep sleeping with him. It's time to end this and look for someone to seriously date. I 100% understand this. You don't want to be with him, you just want a normal relationship and you're feeling lonely. It's a normal feeling. Sex is one thing but a relationship is another. They fill different voids, and sex with someone you're in a loving relationship will feel different. It's like if you were in a shitty relationship and your friend was in a loving one and you find yourself wanting that. It's normal. You don't want to be with your friend's BF, but you want a healthy/happy relationship like they have. My opinion, if you're unhappy then end things and then try to find a relationship that gives you what you crave, because maybe this FWB isn't hitting the spot for you anymore. Granted, it's tricky during this pandemic, but if you think you will be happy doing that, then go for it. FWB only works when both people want that kind of relationship. You now know you'd rather go out and forge a connection with someone else to end up in a relationship with. I would recommend ending the FWB arrangement. Having a FWB thing won't make finding a serious relationship easier. I only date with a relationship in mind, and I would not do anything with someone who actively has a FWB. Other people don't care, but personally I don't really have much to say to a person who pursues me but then goes and fucks someone else that night. But also, don't care so much about his ex. He may say how much he loved her. Well, the relationship is over. So for at least one of them, it was not great. Nothing to envy about that. You said yourself you're not romantically interested in him and just want the love he has for his girlfriend, but you also don't want a relationship, right? I don't think you necessarily have to break things off. No one's getting hurt, and it seems the FWB arrangement is paying off for both of you. Just keep what you posted here in mind and don't allow yourself to develop feelings for him when he can't return them. If you find yourself slipping and genuinely developing feelings for him, that's when I'd begin to worry and consider breaking things off. In that situation you'd have much more to lose. Besides, it's a pandemic. Isolation sucks. Don't endure it when you don't have to, provided everyone in the pod is being safe. I mean, the world is still sort of a mess. If you still enjoy the arrangement and it's working for both of you and there's no risk of feelings on either side, there's no real reason to call it off until things change. If, however, you actually want to find someone to love you like that right now, maybe take a break and do some soul searching, etc.